So you want to know how to make my salsa? I'm going to show you. So any good salsa is going to need a few things. Firstly, tomatoes. Can't make salsa without it. I go with whole peeled tomatoes. Don't go with diced. Don't go with, definitely do not buy the Italian seasoned tomatoes. You will get marinara and it will be disgusting. Don't do it. Next, you need a pepper of some sort. Now, if you're weak to heat, go with a jalapeno. Don't be daring. I like heat. I went with 3 habaneros. 1 red, 2 orange. Doesn't really matter. If you are not the kind of person that likes the taste of cilantro, I don't know what to tell you. Don't include it, but you got weak genes. I hate to tell you. Some onion. I use yellow sweet Vidalia. And some garlic. Simple. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is your peppers. Okay? Now, if you're feeling daring, you can leave the seeds and everything in the peppers, but it's going to be hot. It's going to be a lot hotter with the seeds in it. So, go ahead, cut open your peppers, maybe even slice them down the center, and pull out that inner. Pull out that inner membrane, pull out the seeds. You don't want to know that. Now, I would suggest putting gloves on. Don't do what I do. I'm used to it. I've had habaneros, I've had ghost peppers in my eyes. So don't worry about it. I'll be alright. But for you, yeah, don't do this. Don't do this with your bare hands. Put some gloves on, or make sure to really wash your hands afterwards, because it will hurt. Trust me. Next is your onion. Alright? Now for your onion, what you want to do is go ahead and take off an end. I'm using the worst knife for this, by the way, so I need to sharpen this thing, but take the end off, peel it. Sometimes it helps to cut it in half first. You don't have to be really specific with this. The only thing you want to do is get the outside off really nice. Get that beautiful clean outside of onion. You're only going to use half of it. Now if you're making 2 blenders full of salsa, then yeah, you'll use a full onion. Half of 1 in each blender. But for this, I'm just making 1 blender full of salsa. Making 2, double everything I'm using. So honestly, you don't need to be very large. We're not going to dice it. We're just going to get these little strips here. I say little, but they're fat. You're going to go do it like that. Alright? Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to throw them in a pan in a minute. I'll get to that. Now for your garlic. If you're going to do garlic, I would suggest using about 3 small to medium sized pieces. If you got elephant garlic, which I've used that from time to time, just use 1 clove. Alright? Don't go crazy on the garlic. If you really like garlic, go for it, but I promise you, too much garlic in a salsa is overpowering. We want to let all the flavors exist in a beautiful mesh, and too much garlic just overpowers it. Just take it from me. I've made that mistake. You don't need to chop it up. That's what the blender's for. Now here's where it gets dangerous, okay? You're going to take a pan. Now you don't have to do this step. You could absolutely skip this step. But this is how I like to make it. Get a pan, start getting it nice and warm, alright? In fact, I need to turn that up a little bit. Get your pan nice and hot. Maybe put a little bit of oil in there. It doesn't really matter. I'll use this avocado oil just because it's what you got. And in my kitchen, you just use what you got. Then you're going to throw your garlic, your onion, and your peppers all in here. You're going to roast them a little bit. The part you got to be careful about is this will make like a tear gas. So don't stand over it. Definitely turn your hood on. Get some air flowing. But yeah, if you don't want to be pepper sprayed in the face, I would suggest skipping this step. Alright, so I got them in the pan. You hear them sizzling a little bit. Just stir them around a little bit. We're not trying to cook them down very much. Just get a little color on them. Okay, so this is about the level of color you want to go for. Not super cooked, but just lightly browned on some spots. Now, some of you may ask, now Blake, why do you do this? Opens up the flavors of the vegetables. It really does. And you just want to do it till you start smelling the onions and garlic and a little bit of the peppers. Not too much for the peppers, but mostly the onions and garlic. You want to roast them a little bit till they get aromatic. So now it's time for the next step. Get a blender. Now, you can use a molcajete. In fact, I got one right up there. Okay, you can use a mortar and pestle, molcajete, whatever you want to call it. Make small batches. And it's not the lazy way. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to do it the lazy way. It's easier, and you can make large batches. It chops everything up perfectly. Blender's just fine. Use it. Alright, so next what you're going to do is all these lovely peppers and onions that you just spent your time roasting. You're going to throw them all in there first. And this is why we didn't bother chopping them up into small pieces. The blender's going to take care of that for us. So you're going to take that. Now, if you were to blend this right now, it's most likely going to fly all over the place. It's not going to blend up very well. You need a bit of liquid to weigh it down. Keep them at the bottom so they chop up really nice. So what I do is I take some of the juice from my canned tomatoes. Now, yes, I'm using canned tomatoes. If you would like to core, slice, score on the top, and blanch your tomatoes and use fresh tomatoes, you are more than welcome to. I've done it before. It is a labor of love and not one I want to do often. So, take a little bit of this juice, maybe a couple of the tomatoes. I'll drop a couple of tomatoes in there. That's alright. Just pour a little bit in there. What that'll do is weigh everything down so that when I pulse this, everything stays in place and it chops up. So then I just do some pulses. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that's spicy. Now, you want to look in there. If you don't see any big chunks, you know you're doing it right. You want everything nice and small. Then comes the next part. Take your cilantro. You don't want all these stems. Get it right about there. Okay? A little bit of stems are okay, but a lot of stems, no one wants to bite into a stem when they're eating their salsa. Now I take a whole bundle, big old handful, because I like a lot of cilantro. And that's why this is easy. You just chuck it all in there. And then, get the last little bit of tanglies you got. Throw the rest of your tomatoes on there. Get all that in there. I made a mess. Then, while you're at it, go ahead and clean up the mess I just made. You can, at this point, add a little bit of salt. Don't go too heavy on it, just a little bit. So I'll take my salt, and we season with our hearts, but again, don't go too heavy. You can always salt the salsa later, but a little bit of salt brings out the flavor of tomato. And pulse again. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Now when you look in your blender, you'll see that the cilantro has been chopped up really nice. And I'll go ahead and take a spoon and show you. So we'll take our wooden spoon and we'll just go in it. And if you pull through and you don't get any big chunks of anything, then you're good. Now if you like an extra chunky salsa, don't pulse it as much, don't blend it as much. Now, tasting, when it's in this stage, you're not going to get all the flavor. Now you can, whatever chips you like, you can have a taste. You'll get excited, and you'll go, oh, I want to try it. It'll taste bland. You'll get the heat. I'm starting to. But it's going to taste a little bland. Now, the one thing I can definitely tell is it needs some more salt. Good bit of salt. I definitely went very low on the salt this time. But every good salsa needs some salt. So, we'll mix it up a little bit more. Blend it up into a thinner salsa. We'll try it now. Perfect. Now the problem is you're not going to have all the flavor that you can now. What you want to do is now take it, put it into another container, and put it in the fridge for at least 4 or 5 hours, or even better, the next day. If you let it sit all night, the flavors of the garlic, the onion, and the cilantro will seep into that tomato even better. So I always say that a good salsa isn't great till the next day. So that whole blender full of salsa will fill up an entire quart-sized container, or more depending on the size of your blender. And that can go right into the fridge and let sit overnight. But that is my easy to follow, easy to make salsa recipe. It's so good.